All right, welcome to Chaos. This is to show you that the Mormons, not this Mormon, but the other Mormons, are a bit of, yeah. Michelle is complicit in this because she lets Kate get all this crap. But anyway, this is Kate's playroom. And right now, today, it's going to be my Sennheiser Blue Sound demo room for what I believe to be the best soundbars on the market, which is the Ambeo Max, which we're going to unbox here in this puppy. This one I actually have. This one's going to go to Helen. And then the Ambeo Soundbar Plus, and then the Ambeo subs. So I want to kind of play and see the difference here in this room on what the Max versus the Plus, and then a Plus with a sub. So just to put it into perspective, this one was, I think it's permanently $2,000 now. Every time I go to the site, I see it's 2,000 bucks. But normally it was 2,500. So this is the one I have in my living room or family room and the B-team room, connected to the mantle mount. The one problem with it is really freaking heavy. And so I'm at the limit of with 77-inch OLED and the mantle mount. So I'd like to swap for the Soundbar Plus with subs. Even though this makes some bottom end, it plays down to, I believe, 35 hertz, something like that. It doesn't quite have the effect that a subwoofer would have. And then one of the disadvantages, and it's probably due to when this was made, they didn't have a subwoofer that was designed with it. You can't connect the sub wirelessly, so you would need like a wireless sub controller, wireless sub receiver transmitter in order to connect it. So, it's just not, God dang, this thing is heavy as crap. It's not practical to do a subwoofer, as practical to do a subwoofer, because the Soundbar Plus will connect to the Ambeo subs completely wirelessly. So, this could be an option for, like for me, I have the main home theater, and then I generally have rooms like this where it would be nice to have a soundbar. Most soundbars are junk, but this Ambeo Max is freaking incredible. So this box weighs a solid 80 pounds. I mean, this thing is no joke. But it's $2,000, it's a lot of money. And so you could put this in your garage. You could put this, in my case, this is gonna go to Helen. It's going to go and connect I'm going to put a 77A1 OLED in the basement, and then I'm going to hook this up to that TV, and then I'm going to put a Blue Sound node on the back wall there so that I could connect this. Just like I have in my living room, have a node connected so I can connect this to the Blue Sound system. Because this is the Blue Sound version, 1,000 bucks. You could connect a subwoofer to it. They have subwoofers that wirelessly connect the Sub Plus. I just don't love it. A couple of disadvantages to this. One, if you don't use it often, it loses its connectivity to HDMI ARC. So then you have to go into the app, tell it to go back to it. Whereas like the Sennheisers, as soon as you turn the TV on through CEC, Consumer Electronic Control, it automatically turns the soundbar on and controls it. So let's get this stuff out. Now, Ambeo Max, one advantage is that it has full room correction. And that's part of the magic of this puppy. And so here's our microphone. So this particular guy, in a few minutes, we can set up and it will do a full room correction, if you will, some sort of digital room correction, whereas the Ambeo Soundbar Plus doesn't have this functionality, so it doesn't have that software. So 1,400 bucks for the Soundbar Plus, $2,000 for this. So I think it really comes down to, and what I wanted to find out here today was, would I rather have the Soundbar Plus with a wireless subwoofer, or two? You can do two subwoofers. I think that would be the way to go. So 600 bucks for subwoofer, 1,400 bucks for the Soundbar Plus. So you're $2,000 versus $2,000. And of course, you can connect the subwoofer to this But if I were gonna do a subwoofer with the Max, I would be just get a, you know, an SVS or Dynaudio sub or some other sub. I wouldn't be doing the, I can already tell I wouldn't be doing the Sennheiser sub. Gosh, this thing is a freaking tank, man. It is. I mean, I've never felt a soundbar that has this much presence to it. This is, you know, video I'm making is more my personal discovery here. I don't really care about stats and specs on stuff like this because this to me is a secondary application. You put one of these in your garage, you would put one of these in a room like this, the playroom. I'm not going to put this in my main listening room. You put this in the family room where you have a home theater somewhere else. But if you are looking for a sound bar, I mean, I've heard lots of them, not all of them, but most of them. There is nothing like this Ambeo sound bar. There's nothing that has the weight, has the drivers, has the quality, has the room correction capability. It is, this thing is remarkable. These sound bars in general, to me, like this isn't very impressive at high volumes. What really impresses me is lower volume listening. Just extremely impressive from a like quality of dialogue, quality of immersion. You know, you're not going to do any rear speakers with something like this. It's just a really great experience for being an all-in-one package. So let's just put the Bluesound on top of this. The magic of this is that in my house, I have a fully integrated Bluesound system. So through BlueOS, I then have my outdoor kitchen, outdoor patio. I've got my office. I've got, I'm gonna put some speakers in the master bath. So you can see guest room, that's the Pulse Soundbar Plus. I have the pool area, left side of the pool area. That's my home theater. That's my office. That's the outdoor kitchen area. That's the right side of the pool area. And then I have my living room Ambeo set up with a node, right? So I have my whole house integrated. I can press play right now whenever I want. And so the magic of doing one of these, and then, you know, if you cared about the subwoofer side of it, you could do a subwoofer plus or sub plus, they call it, for another, I think the sub plus is like $800. So this is $1,000, $800 subwoofer. You can do really as many subwoofers as you want and have it fully integrated into your whole home system. It's great. The problem with this is the sound quality difference between this and this it's not even close. This Bluesound device is nice, decent, but this is best of the best in class, best sounding, I think, soundbar on the market. So the beauty of sound bars is their simple connectivity. So I have two wires, power and HDMI. So this HDMI is connected to, in your TV, this is a LG mini LED. The reason I did mini LED instead of OLED in here is because, you know, Kate would ruin it when she leaves it on pause for hours. And so the LCD is not going to be problematic from that standpoint. A room like this, I certainly wouldn't buy this, you know, this one. So you can see you have tons of connectivity. We're only going to use two connections. Power and HDMI ARC, enhanced audio return channel, eARC. So this TV has a specific eARC output. The Ambeo has a specific input. So this does HDMI switching, which is largely unnecessary. So you do have network connectivity if you wanted to connect it to your network with Ethernet. We don't have Ethernet here in this particular place. Optical in. So this is where, you know, if I was going to set this thing up, if I really cared about how this thing was going to function, and I wanted this to be, you know, I didn't have the ability to do rear speakers in a room, and I wanted a really great sound bar, and I wanted a great as good of an experience as possible. What I would do with this, you have subwoofer out. So I have subwoofer pre-out right here. And so in this particular room, I wouldn't need to worry about a wireless subwoofer. I'd just run a wire down to the subwoofer and I'd put it in the corner there. So I'd probably get like an SVS SB2000 or something like that to add to this. I wouldn't buy the $600 Sennheiser because, again, there's no wireless connectivity to this integrated. You'd have to do the Soundbar Plus. So again, if I was going to set this up for maximum capability, I would do this. I'd do a subwoofer, and that's how I would have it set up on my TV, just like so. And so on any display, you know, you would turn the sound out to, if it's Sony or Samsung or LG, sound out to HDMI ARC device. And then once we get this set up, it'll recognize. So when you turn the TV on, it'll turn the soundbar on. When you turn the TV off, it'll turn the soundbar off. And then your volume control will control the soundbar. So what I'll have to do is do some independent listening, and then I'll have to come back to you afterward. Before we go too far, let's connect this to our Ambeo app. Smart control. Let's update our firmware. So this thing has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different drivers. It's connecting to my soundbar. Okay. To establish initial connection to the source app, press the multifunction button and the source button. Pair it. Next. So, expanded ecosystem for AirPlay 2, Spotify Hi-Fi and Tidal Connect. Continue. Connected to my network. It's a pretty darn sophisticated device. Put it on Kate's puke chair, apparently. Installing our firmware. So there's also a wall bracket. So the wall bracket is what I have in the family room set up on my, the one that I've been using for 6 months now or so. And so one of the things you could consider, like in your garage, in your, again, your office, your secondary room, even your main room, if you're just not a home theater junkie, I think this is a really good, really viable option. So the question I'm hoping to answer here today is, would I rather have this or would I rather have this subwoofer? And I think what I'm going to do is, depending on how this one sounds, I'm probably going to put this in my family room with 2 subwoofers wirelessly, because I can't get the wires. I can't get the wires to the subwoofers in my family room, but I do have power there. Let's do our Ambeo, which is to press the button. This thing's pretty cool. So this is a upward firing subwoofer. Yeah. I mean, it's not, I mean, it's a plastic sub. I don't know how good this is going to be, but again, the real selling point to the subwoofer would be wireless connectivity, especially in my case where I've got the no way to run the wires. But this won't connect to that without a wire or some sort of external wireless device. What I want to do is, what I should do is run a second power, and we'll put them on top of each other. I'm just gonna play a scene, listen to a few things, and see how it does. And see, this is so much better at like 25. Like, it's not made for watching like action movies.
Pretty impressive though.
I would rather, like, I really like it for like, you know, watching TV, watching movies, but at like, you know, reasonable volume. But I think that, well, we're gonna find out here. So let me listen to something with this smaller one. Room calibration, continue. Start calibration. So there's no microphone, but it still calibrates. Sound a lot thinner. All right, pretty clear to me. Ambeo Max is better than Ambeo Soundbar Plus with a subwoofer. Adding more subwoofers is just gonna have more bass. I think the biggest difference is dialogue. The dialogue is just so much more accurate. It just feels, this feels much more like speaker subwoofer, where the Ambeo Max feels much more like a full system. So I think clearly the way to go would be to do Ambeo Max and then just do your own external subwoofer. And what you could do is you could do like the SoundPath wireless transmitter and just kind of tack it to the back of your system. So like, it'd be really easy to add a subwoofer to this setup in this room, but I'll show you my living room. Let's go out there and I'll show you that. Why it's not as practical. Hey Siri, turn on family room lights.
Okay, the family room lights are on.
Maybe I am going to turn into a Alexa douchebag. So, see, this is the setup that I've had for several months now, where I have a mantle mount. The problem with this is this. I mean, it comes up to here, fine, but then I've got to get it up over the mantle, and so I've got to really manhandle this thing, and it always hits, and then my fingers get stuck. And so it'd be nice to take this, which weighs like 60 pounds, if I took this off and did the Soundbar Plus instead of the Max, and then I put my subwoofers here, right there, and here, I just think it would be a more practical setup, but this does sound a whole lot better. Because if I did Soundbar Plus, I'd have $1,400 for the soundbar, $600, so I'm $1,200, and then what is that? $2,600 versus $2,000 for this. The other nice thing about this is I don't have any other boxes. I'm torn. Because this does sound much, much better. I'm inclined to say, you know, because most of the time we just leave this down. And so I very rarely pull it out. But if I switched this to the Soundbar Plus, then Michelle or anybody else could just come and lift it up. You could lift it up with a darn finger, it wouldn't be a problem. Because the weight difference is substantial. It wouldn't stick out nearly as much. It would go up over the mantle much easier. And I have the mantle mounted full counterweight, so it's set up to have full, I guess you could say, full offset of the counterweight of the weight of the soundbar. But see, it's a pretty clean setup that I have here. This TV's I just had it freshly ISF calibrated. This is a C8, so this is a 3-4 year old 77 inch. This was in my home theater at Woodgate 2 houses ago. But I mean, this TV should last another 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. So my original plan was to take out the fireplace, but this was just because I don't know how long I'm gonna be in this house. I really didn't wanna do all that work. So the jury's still out. Ambeo Max, Soundbar Max is the clear winner to me. I wanted to do a very informal fumble through to figure it out. There's some pros to the Soundbar Plus or the Pulse Soundbar Plus from Blue Sound, and that it integrates into the system. But this sounds so much better and is a real practical home theater replacement solution. Great for the amount of listening I'm going to do in here. I don't like any of these sound bars at high volume. Now I have a clip sound bar. Let me show you that. I have a clip sound bar in Ryan's room that does really well at high volumes. It's a lot less money. So this is Ryan's setup here, where he has the clip soundbar and subwoofer. I forget what model this is. It's like the Cinema 800 or something like that. This thing rips, but it's kind of muddy and normal listening. Not nearly as sophisticated as the Ambeo version. But these are the places that I put sound bars in rooms like this, where this is my kids' room, or Kate's playroom, or the family room. We put it in there. Because in my home theater I've got ridiculous equipment. So yeah, I think the combination of if you can fit it, pay the extra money, get the Max, buy yourself a really nice subwoofer. I would pair this 100% pair this with an SVS SB 2000, which we have in the store as well. I sell all this stuff. And this could be a great garage solution if you just wanted a hybrid and you wanted to be able to play some music, watch some TV. I would only do sound bars if you're like 90% TV and 10% music. But this could reproduce music. I actually played this at the garage, in my big garage down the street in the studio, and it does okay. I didn't mess with this one in there. I don't think this would be as practical. But I think that really the only reason you would buy this is if the weight, size and weight of it. Otherwise, if you can swing this, I would rather have this and no subwoofer than the Soundbar Plus with 4 subwoofers. I think it sounds better. The dialogue is that much more accurate. But I do think this has its place in positions where we want to mount it to a wall or mount it to a bracket of some sort, or don't have as much space. Notice the height difference. It would allow you to mount your TV a little lower, so it does give you some advantages there. But I'm torn. I think I may put it on the mantle mount to make the mantle mount more functional, but I need to think about it a little bit more. Anyway, hit me up if you have questions about home theater stuff. I'm happy to help. I know this is a rather informal video, but this is something I've been putting off for a while, something I wanted to get done. And I feel good about the testing and really like this thing even more. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.